Okay, Matt, are you ready to lift? On 3, 1, 2, 3.
As you can see, they communicated what they were going to do. They lifted in a nice, smooth fashion, and then they placed the patient onto the stretcher. The first thing that Matt and Joe are going to do is they're going to come to their scoop stretcher device, and they're going to break the device apart. Once they have the device apart, they'll be able to place the device on either side of the patient. From this point, they'll maneuver the scoop stretcher underneath of the patient in a manner that is scooping the patient up. They will, once they have the scoop stretcher pieces maneuvered under the patient, they will be able to connect the device back together. This may require them to actually lift part of the patient up. Once again, they want to use good lifting techniques, watching their neck or watching their back. This would be used on a patient that does not have a neck or a back injury. Once they have the scoop stretcher device placed back together and intact and make sure it's secured, then they will secure the patient to the scoop stretcher so that they may move the scoop stretcher with the patient to the awaiting wheeled stretcher.
All right, Matt, are you ready to lift?
Ready. From this point, they're going to use their
3,
good lifting
1,
techniques.
2, 3.
Made sure they were on solid ground. Their feet were about shoulder width apart. They communicated with each other. They lifted with their legs and not their back.
Are you guys ready to roll?
Joe's going to call out the commands for us.
Towards you guys on 3, 1, 2, 3.
We're going to protect our backs and also protect the patient. And at this time, Matt's going to go ahead and palpate the back and make sure that we don't have any complications back there. Matt and I have kept our equipment close here so that we can maneuver it right into the back of the patient to place the patient onto the long spine board. We'll roll it up to the patient, and then we'll let Joe call the move so that we can move the patient back down.
Okay, down on 3, 1, 2, 3. We're good, guys.
Good? Okay. Once we have the patient in the position that we want the patient on the long spine board, then we will use the securing device. In this instance, we're going to use what we call spider straps to secure the patient to the long board. Once we have secured the patient to the long board, we can go ahead and secure the patient's head to the long board as well so that we don't have movement of the head. And Matt and Joe will work on that in conjunction with each other. And then following your local protocols, you will provide the proper assessment for this type of a patient as you have place them on the spine board to protect their neck or their back.
All right, Matt, are you ready to lift?
From here, so at this time the patient is going to be lifted into, on the backboard, on the long spine board, into the Stokes basket.
Are you ready?
Matt and Joe will use good lifting
On three,
techniques.
1, 2, 3.
And move the patient over to the Stokes basket.
And down on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Once again, they're communicating very well with each other. Then they will secure the patient inside of the Stokes basket. Once the patient is secured inside of the Stokes basket, more providers will come in. We're going to use 4 providers, and we can maneuver this Stokes basket for transport. So Matt and Joe are going to log roll the patient.
You ready, Matt?
Once again, using good lifting techniques, watching the safety of their back,
Rolling
and
on
also
3.
making sure they're
1,
being safe for the
2,
patient.
3.
They've got good communication. They've kept their device nice and close. From this point, they'll log roll the patient back.
Back on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
And then they'll load the patient into the flexible stretcher. From this point, we'll have 4 providers that will come in and actually help to lift this patient and assist Matt and Joe in getting the patient onto the wheeled stretcher. John? We use good lifting techniques using our legs and not our backs.
Okay, up on 3. 1, 2, 3. And then move over to the gurney.